Families are challenged by so many things, threats one could even call them, every day of their lives. I think sometimes people say time is my biggest problem because mom has to work, dad has to work, kids have to go to school, they come back home from school very late, and we have very limited time for the family to really build a good family. And then you have others, like for instance, blended families are sometimes a challenge. Now you need to have more time, more intention to really make that work. To not even think about the single parent households, because that is an enormous challenge, because I think children actually need two people, the energy of two people, to just get them in the right direction. So time is a big threat. A next one that is a massive threat is morality. Morality. You know, I grew up in a system where the moral values of society were actually conducive to the fact of good holistic development and sound things that would not detrimentally impact other people. So we are in a society of immorality often, and how to cushion my child, protect my child against that, and help my child to have a pure heart and pure thinking. So that in itself is a huge one. The social media is an enormous one. Statistics show that children are on screens 7.5 hours per day, tested in America, in Europe, and in Africa. 7.5 hours per day average. So who parents the children is the question. And often we feel like, oh my word, I'm not sure if the social media should parent my children. So that is a massive threat to the right value system of children, to the right thinking. The result of many of these things, because a lot of that turns into emotional things, the interaction on the social media turns to emotional threats, so depression, which is more of an inner problem, psychological problem, that could be an impact on that. So from the outer pressures, we also sit with inner pressures. And inner pressures is just not appropriate development by children. Because parents are ignorant, and that is the biggest threat. The biggest threat is the ignorant parent. An ignorant parent that says, I love my child, but has no idea on how to love the child. That is the biggest danger in this world. And that's why we do what we do. Because the way they love is completely wrong. It reaps the wrong effect. So children need many things, but I want to single out 4, which are absolutely essential. And the threat is, if you withhold this from them, they're in trouble from day one. The first is belonging or intimacy, closeness, first one. The second one is value. They need to be valued. They need to feel precious. They need to understand their identity, very important. They need to find purpose. And people that do not have this, they are lost in life, everywhere. They are absolutely lost. So because of the external challenges, financial challenges it could be, the pressure of society it could be, peer pressure, pressure of the mixed cultures that we have lately. All places are very mixed in different ethnic groups and cultures and so on. So you have to adapt and understand and read life in different ways. So that is a pressure. And that all comes down to what you carry inside as resilience. Do you really have the capacity inside to address this? And if you want the capacity inside, the moral basis from which you live, the right values from which you live, the secure emotional environment in which you live, because children go from school and they are pressured at school because of the social interaction, and because of this emotional pressure, they come home to find relief, and then they come home, and what do they have at home? They have a battle at home, a massive battle at home. So you never relieve them from this tension. So it's a constant tension the whole day, parents and children. So it becomes that inner pressure that you have. And that's why we help people to get rid of this inner pressure, to get rid of the impact of father wounds and mother wounds and social wounds and so on, so that they can live victoriously and resiliently in a day and age that is terribly challenging to be victorious and to function optimally in life. But we know there is an answer. Despite all the challenges, all of us can be victorious and live in the right way.